This is the end of the road in Michigan, where we bring to life the stories of small towns, their people, and the moments that shaped them. Today, we journey to a village in Cheboygan County, a place once alive with the sound of sawmills and train whistles. Now a quiet reminder of Michigan's lumber past. This is the history of Tower, Michigan, from 1900 to 1950. At the turn of the 20th century, Tower was a new community, born of timber and the railroad. The Detroit and Mackinac Railway had only just pushed north, its tracks reaching the Black River's rich hardwood forests. The village was named for Ellen May Tower, an Army nurse who served in the Spanish-American War and died of typhoid in 1898. She was the first American servicewoman to die on foreign soil. By 1900, the whistle of steam engines echoed off the hills. Logs floated down the Black River to sawmills clustered along its banks. The Stratton Handle Factory turned out thousands of broom and tool handles each day. The newly built Tower Dam backed up the river to form a mill pond, holding logs until the saws were ready. Main Street, known as Barclay Street, bustled with boardwalks, storefronts, and hitching posts. There was a bakery, a druggist, a pool hall, hotels, and a long line of saloons. Horses clopped past the public schoolhouse where the children of mill workers learned their lessons. The depot was the heart of it all. Trains came and went daily, carrying freight, passengers, and the lifeblood of the town: lumber. Tower was more than just a work site. It was a community. By 1910, the population had swelled to nearly 800. There were 3 churches. The telephone had arrived. And for a brief moment, it seemed the town might grow into a permanent center of industry in northern Michigan. The Stratton Handle Factory was one of the most modern in the state. In its big 2-story building, rows of machinery shaped hardwood into handles, staves, and finished lumber. Workers lived in company-built houses nearby. All around Tower, logging camps fed the mills. In winter, the frozen pond was cut for ice. Blocks were stored for use in rail cars and home ice boxes. It was a thriving, self-contained economy. And everyone knew it was tied directly to the forests. Then came the summer of 1911. Dry weather gripped northern Michigan. On July 11th, a wildfire swept toward Tower. Flames moved fast through the slash piles and sawdust-laden yards. People grabbed what they could and fled, some on foot, some in wagons, others aboard an evacuation train bound for Onaway. The fire took the depot and freight house. Lumber piles went up in smoke. Several mills burned to the ground. Thanks to the work of a handful of men who stayed behind, Tower itself wasn't erased. But its economy was gutted. The big mill companies couldn't justify rebuilding. The great cutover had already thinned the forests. Without timber, there would be no second boom. A decade later, Tower faced another trial. In April 1922, heavy rains and a sudden snowmelt sent the Black River surging. The Tower Dam was in danger. Nearly every able-bodied man joined in to save it, hauling timbers, rocks, and sandbags. 500 feet of railroad track washed away. A passenger train derailed on weakened rails, tumbling down a 20-foot embankment. The water threatened to cut a new channel entirely, leaving the dam high and dry. It was a desperate fight, but the dam held. Still, the damage was done. Regular train service to Tower faded soon after. The Detroit and Mackinac closed the station and stopped daily runs. Tower's link to the outside world grew quieter. By the mid-1920s, Tower's sawmills were silent. Main Street storefronts emptied. The arrival of U.S. Highway 23 brought passing motorists, but not enough business to replace what had been lost. During the Great Depression, the town changed again. Families from other parts of Michigan moved in, looking for cheap land and a way to make a living from it. They built small cabins, kept livestock, and planted gardens. It was a hard life, but it kept the community alive. World War II brought modest improvement. A few logging jobs returned, this time cutting second-growth timber. Rural electrification finally reached Tower. For the first time, homes had electric lights and radios. School buses carried farm kids to class. Returning veterans brought young families and a brief renewal of Main Street. But Tower would never again be the booming lumber town it was in 1910. The dam still produced power. The Black River still ran past the old mill sites. But the sound of the big saws and the constant whistle of the train were gone. Today, Tower is a quiet place along M68 in northern Michigan. If you stand by the dam and look upstream, you can picture the mill pond crowded with logs, the mill yard alive with work, and the depot platform lined with freight. The story of Tower is the story of many Michigan lumber towns, built by the forest, changed by fire and flood, and carried forward by the people who stayed. This has been the end of the road in Michigan. Thanks for listening.